Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, 10th of November 2021, and we are here with our Spiritual Light Show. Thank you, Kardec Radio. Thank you, my friends from UK, and today, Rodrigo from Spain. It's nice to have you all here. And today, it's an important topic, strengthening the power of cope, to cope. So, Fayute, my Irish friends, glad to have you all here with us today. And I will let everyone to introduce yourself. So let's leave the ladies first, Rodrigo.
Sure.
Okay.
Nice
So,
again.
Ms. Gibbons.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It's always a great pleasure and an honor to be here with you. And today is a very important theme that we're going to talk about, that all of us, in one way or another, are touched by it. So we hope that through our conversation today, we'll be able to help whoever I need at this very moment. And we ask God's blessings to be upon all of us. So it's nice to be here again.
Very nice indeed. Hello, my friends. It's really a great pleasure, as Silvia pointed, to be here once again with our humble hearts, joining hands to hands in order to talk in this special month that we are talking similar themes in order to help us to understand why we suffer when someone died. We think that we are lost someone, but not lost no one. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are, as Charles always says. And it's really good to be with you all. Please make your comments, your questions. That's helping us to open our minds and comment even further. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here with us today. It's a pleasure to be invited for this video today here. It's always good to serve our friends, to serve God, to put ourselves as instruments of the spiritual world, the benefactors, and so it's wonderful to be here. Hola, amigos. Hablantes del idioma español, muy bienvenidos. Muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Espero que os guste, que sacáis provecho de lo que vamos a hablar aquí hoy, que es un tema muy importante. Y os invito a todos a hacer preguntas y muy bienvenidos.
Good. Wonderful. So, I want to start my introduction with a passage of the book Fountain of Peace from Chico Xavier, psychographed by Chico Xavier and dictated by this Emmanuel, his mentor. And with this passage, Emmanuel says, in front of beloved one dead, be silent and pray. Nobody can quench the flame of missing someone. However, if you cry, cry doing good. Death to life is just a change. The seed in the ground shows the resurrection. We are all alive in the presence of God. So, cry. Yes, for sure. But crying, doing good. That's the message from Emmanuel when we are suffering with a loss of someone we love. And based on this, let's start with Rodrigo here. And Rodrigo, we know that life goes on. Okay, that's our first point. Life go on. Yeah, but even though we have moments of happiness, moments of sadness. Okay, and in case when we lose a loved one, it's more attachment to that person or not?
Well, it depends. It's in both ways. I think, uh, of course, when we know, uh, I'm talking about we people who know about, who has the belief through spiritism, or whatever other, whichever other religion or spiritualistic religion, who believe in something that life goes on after death, as you said. So even those people have difficulties to deal with this kind of situation, because it's pretty hard to have someone you love so much to departure, even though we know that this situation of this departure is not the end itself, but it's a continuation, or the spirit keeps in another dimension, in another place. No, even though we know that, but this sensation of loss, even though a temporary loss, when we know it, it hurts. So I have a close friend that has passed through a situation like this recently, and the person knows spiritism. She knows all the situation related to the spiritual situation after the physical death, but it hurts because it's pretty hard for you to get used to not having someone on your side, someone you love so much. So the sensation of missing the presence of that person is pretty complicated. So we can say everything or anything to the person, but that sensation, it's not going away just because we know that their life goes on after death. So, but sometimes, especially with when people are not, how can I say, aware of this situation of the after death, that life keep goes on. So this becomes like, the person starts being like rebelling. The person rebels against God, against all of the situation that involves that loss, because for those people who don't know about that, it's a loss. It's not something that will be recovered sometime. So in that case, that loss becomes so that the person starts being like angry with God, with the situation, and this is very difficult for the person and for the spirit, because the spirit, when a person dies and becomes a spirit in the spiritual world, so the person receives all these negative feelings of the person who stays here incarnated, and this causes a lot of disturbing in that spirit. So the spirit starts like feeling that sadness, that sensation of rebellion, and not acceptance, and this is not good for the spirit. And sometimes this is almost because in the spirit, in the spirit's book, so it is the spirits say that our the spirit is where the thought is. So if we think on that person who died, and we think our feelings are not structured, or at least not accepting the loss or the departure of that person to the spiritual world, that sensation, those feelings, those vibrations, they affect negatively the spirit who is in the other side. And this prevents the spirit to rest, or to be in peace, to be in an harmonic way, and to absorb the help of the good spirits who are there to help and to support the, how can I say, the adaptation of the spirit in the spiritual world. So the thing is, this attachment, but not the attachment itself, but the missing the person, but the attachment with the sensation of possession, that sensation of I want that person with me. this is not healthy, let's say this way, for the spirit who is dead. And of course, sometimes that spirit it gets lost, and sometimes stay with the person who is incarnated, because it's like calling that spirit. It's like calling them, and then it stays sometimes with the person who is not accepting the departure of that person, and both uh, uh, start doing bad things, or doing, let's say, harming each other, because the spirit is not harmonized, is not in a healthy situation, the vibrations are not good, and this spirit is close to the incarnated person, the beloved one, and it starts doing, let's say, causing harm to the incarnated person as well. So that's why it's very important that, as Chico said, so how crying doing good? It's not crying that we should not feel the missing the spirit who departed, but we need to miss that, and in our thoughts we need to send good vibrations for the spirit to understand, hey, I missed you. I miss you so much, but I know you are in a good place. Please accept the help of the spirits. Accept your situation. Be prepared. When you are prepared, we can be together, and maybe the good spirits allow you to help me here. But at this point in time, I know we'll need to be separated temporarily, until we are in good situation to be close, to be together again. That's the way we cry doing good. Because if we cry doing later, I want you close to me, I want you to be here with me, I don't accept, I need you, this kind of situation, this kind of feeling, this kind of vibration is not good for the spirit who is there in the spiritual world. So I think in this happens because the person is still attached to that, how can I say, possession feeling, which is not good in any circumstance. So we need to detach to anything, because nothing belongs to us. Even the people who are close to us, nobody belongs to anybody. Everybody belongs to God. So we are part of a fraternal world, a universal world, where everybody in some way will be together, but we need also to learn how to be temporarily separated from the people we love, if that's the situation we need to face. So that's how we need to face and to cry doing good, as Chico said, in my opinion.
Great. Yes, it is. We need to help those who are not here with us anymore, because the that feeling is both ways. No. So, do you think like that the person who are left on earth will accept someone crying desperately for them? So they say, "Hey, come down." No, wait. So
The spirit will try to help also the incarnated person. So, and this is not good, because the spirit needs to think about his recovery or her recovery in the spiritual
yes,
world.
exactly.
Can I just say something? In the book
Sure.
Violets in the Window, there's a very interesting situation. I think that's I mentioned as well in a call I had with Elsa in our Wednesdays. So Patricia, who's the spirit who disincarnated, is received in the spiritual world, and when she goes to the house where she would be staying in the spiritual world, along with her grandmother who received her in the spiritual world, so she noticed in the window violets, and they were the same violets that her mother were cultivating in her incarnated, let's say, house. And then she asked the grandmother, so what is that? And she felt great, she felt happy, she felt like, and she said, oh, these are the violets that were sent by your mother for you to feel welcome here, and to know that she is in thoughts. thinking on you. She misses you, but she knows that this is like this is the new stage in your life, and she is with you in thoughts. This did so good to Patricia, and these are the examples. That's the thing that Chico mentioned. So doing good. Let's send to our beloved ones good vibration, good sensations, for them to feel that we are good. We miss them, but we are good. Life goes on. We'll be together someday.
Great. Perfect. Perfect, my friend. You're spot on. And I want to say good night to Bruce, to Maria Santurian, Beatriz Gilles, Maria Eugênio, Rafael Caldas, and also we do have a question here from Fabius Cayenne. How do you help them? What is the method of helping them? Fabius, Ms. Gibbons, the next one, and what I'm going to ask her is more or less connected with your question, and I'm pretty sure Silvia will answer this question brilliantly. But before, yes, I'm not doubted. But before I ask the question, Robbie put a comment here. Let us truly understand why we focus on advancing morally. It's for the benefit of all. We are all in this together, my friend. Hurts here, hurts there. Happy there, happy here. So we need to make a joint forces here. And Silvia, my dear, how do the inconsolable pains of those who are on earth affect the departed spirits?
Okay. That's a very good question, and it is extremely important for us to know and how to behave in that situation. I think, some things that Rodrigo said, that very important points, and it especially goes to this, of course, is the terrible pain to lose someone you love. Especially if it's a parent, a mother, or a friend. Especially when it's situations that is a death that was unexpected. It's always a shock to the system. It's extremely painful. And at times it takes quite a while for the person to understand what is happening, but it's most important to the behavior of the person. Of course, even, as I think Rodrigo said, even though we understand about spirituality, we understand that life goes on, that this is just a passage that everyone will go through. But the knowledge does not diminish the pain that we feel of loss. Absolutely. In no way whatsoever. I think what the knowledge does to us is give us calm, give us consolation, because we know that that person, they are feeling exactly like we are. They are also losing someone. They are also, we always think of our loss. We tend to think of we are the only ones who suffer, but the person who's gone as well, they feel the same thing. They are missing their friends, they're missing their family, they're missing their homes, the things they had that were familiar to them. So their sense of loss is exactly like ours, and maybe even more so. So we have to understand that. And if we start... I think, it was mentioned, come back, don't go, I want you to be with me, is extremely selfish. Although, there is love, there is a bit of selfishness in this, and we have to be aware of this. And also, I think sometimes within the grieving process, there is a lot of anger, because the person don't want the other person, how dare you go before I am? You know, how dare you go first? You had to wait for me. And there is all sorts of feelings in that. And this become, you know, there is anger, there is stress, there is a lot of things like that that we need to recognize. And I think it's interesting, you know, in Jewish tradition, they have the rending of the clothes. You know, they cut a part of their clothes when they have the funeral, and it's for them so they can express their anger and the sense of loss. And this, I think, you know, that the act of actually rendering, cutting, uh, doing something with your clothes, you express the anger and you express the loss. This would be interesting for us to understand that, because we get very angry and we don't know, so we're covered in pain and we become very desperate, we cry. I remember being in a funeral that I actually became quite distressed because someone, you know, a member of the family, was behaving in such a way, throwing herself at the coffin and all that kind of thing, create, you know, screaming. The rest of the family were extremely upset. And everyone was very stressed in the funeral. So I just thought, you know, I'm going to pray and pray and pray and pray and pray for her to come down. And you can see that because her pain was not more than anybody else. But, you know, it seems that sometimes people feel that they need to express their pain by making a lot of noise. And the spirit who's leaving suffers very much because they feel the pull. Instead of being allowed to move on, to go, they feel that they're being pulled back. And this, of course, creates a lot of pain for them. And if we really and truly love them, we will have to understand that. And I think you don't need necessarily to have a lot of spiritual knowledge or anything. It's just a sense that that person you love and you wanted to see them happy and you wanted to see them well. I think another point that I like to make here as well is the question of the funeral, is the question of the wake, you know, as they call it. I mean, you know, like in Ireland, they celebrate, don't they? The wake is something very, very special in Ireland, more than anything else. But I think this is very important, the kind of behavior that we should have in the funerals when we are in the wake, because the spirit, many times, the spirit that is departing will come to the funeral. They will come, you know, maybe they will be followed by members of their family, spiritual benefactors that will be with them, and they will see people and they will hear what they are saying. And extremely, extremely important for us to educate ourselves, to behave, and to only say things that are good and positive and loving of the person. In one of the books of André Luiz, the spiritual guide of, you know, that wrote all those books, the Chico Xavier, he says that in certain circumstances would be better for the person to be buried like a street person with no one there, because some of the times people will remember things, will make nasty comments about the spirit, and this increases their pain, sometimes to the point that can completely unbalance them. And I think this is very important, that, you know, you are in a funeral, something like that. We are in prayer. We are sending good vibrations and loving thoughts for the person who is departing. And of course, we have the pain, we suffer. I know a lot of loss in my family. I know a lot of loss. And it's wrenching, you know, it's like a part of you. You feel like a part of you is gone. And but having the knowledge of Spiritism is such a blessing, such a consoling thing, because you feel the pain, but you allow them to go, because you know they feel the same as you do. They're also going. And I think, you know, we tend to think that's something special, but it's just like in life. Nothing is different once you go to the spiritual world. It's like when we are here, if you're going to travel, we're saying goodbye to our friends, to our family. We're going maybe to study or move or got married and went somewhere else. And you feel that longing for the people who you're leaving, even though you're going to see them again, maybe in holidays or something, but you still feel the sense of loss, even if you're traveling here. So it's not different when we're going to the spiritual world. So um, it is very important for us to acknowledge our pain, to feel it, to honor it, but also honor the pain and the sense of loss that the departed person is also feeling. So we help them with our love and our prayers. And I think that's very important, prayers, and send them thoughts of saying, go, be free, go live your life now, and we meet again soon, and helps us and helps them. And I find that this is very, very important for us to learn and to educate ourselves. And in some times, that sense of anger, I think we should honor that as well, because sometimes we get angry because someone died on us, as they would put it. But it doesn't. It was their time, and that's a journey that, without exception, each and every one of us, once we are born, we will take it. So it's just a question of concentrating ourselves in feeling the pain and praying for ourselves and for the person, and send them good thoughts and loving thoughts, and being aware that they may be close to us, listening to us, seeing what we're thinking. So it's most important to educate ourselves to think in terms of love and kindness, and always remember the best memories that we can have of that person. This, I think, also help us very, very much in healing ourselves. Remembering all the good things, the good times we had with that person, feeling happy again with their presence. And I think this helps us and helps them. And most important to pray and to be quiet and sending thoughts of love and peace for ourselves and for them. I don't know if you did answer the question, but that they had done, but I hope it did.
Yeah, no, it is. It's wonderful. One way we can help them, it's think about the good moments. No, share the good moments. Remember that moments with joy. It's in our memory. So instead of contemplate the lack of that person, contemplate the blessing having that person with you for such time.
Yeah, yes. I think, one of the things, because living so far away from my family for such a long time, I did lose people that I absolutely adored, and thinking about them, did make me sad. But in my way, far away, without anybody, what I concentrated on was remember the good times, like the stuff that they told me that had happened to them when they were young, and we had laughs about it, and we still think about it. We still laugh about some of the stories, because my family, they had funny stories. And that was such for me at the time, was so consoling and helped me go through that, the pain of finding out and being far away from them and everything. So I think it's important to think of the good times and the laughs you had with that person. It helps you a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see the comments here. Probably a friend of yours, Rodrigo. Juan Pablo, congratulations for the speech. And also he put these initiatives will bring bless and counseling to the people that are in need. Yes, my friend. It's something we need to do for us and for them as well.
Yeah.
Stevan, before you, yeah,
Amazing words. Thanks all. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you. Thank you. And don't forget, if you have any questions, please ask them. Elsa, you were saying something?
yes, Silvia comments something that I spoke with a friend last week or the week before. His mother passed away 6 months ago. Is a Peter, his name, and he is still suffering a lot. Although he knows about that life goes on, the spirit never dies. So I was saying to him, thinking, oh, but you have to be comfort because no one dies, blah, blah, blah. Elsa, I know these kind of things, but the problem is not, I'm not crying, I'm not sad because my mother passed away. I'm sad because the time that we did not living together because he and his mother was cross for all, probably his entire life. Okay, he left it and etc. etc. And this is the thing that came to his mind from the infancy, things that he didn't really use in a good way, as he more or less left his mother behind. And
The
this,
lost time.
yes, so now it's difficult for people. So I said to him, you should go to a therapist to go, because you need to receive help because he is really is going under depression. So these kind of things can happen as well. Yeah. So we have to see and use our time with our beloved ones as much as we can with kindness. Even if we're not together, as Silvia's here for so long, I am far from my children, my grandchildren, my friends from Brazil living here. Yes, we miss them. We miss each other. But as much as you can, go and try to communicate. If you have 3 or 4 years that you are not communicate with someone that you said, oh, no, I don't like him, he doesn't like me. No, go, be humble. Go and ask for a communication, a message, because it's the best thing that you can do before you or the other person dies. Before. Otherwise, we will always miss and then we need help after that. My turn, I will talk something later on if something needs to be clarified. But the things now, it's better to do now, to communicate now, to make this link together again before be late.
It's never too late to say I love you.
Exactly.
No. Robbie said, a disciplined free will allows us the opportunity to changing our thought patterns. Thought and life asks us to look at our habits and change where needed.
As you said, never too late.
Yeah. Linda, appreciate your words of you. Thank you. Thank you, Linda, for your time. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then we can go to you, my dear Elsa. Why it's important to pray for those who discarnated?
So, first of all, because it's an action of charity. Without charity, there's no salvation. So our prayers make a lot of difference in our lives when we are mourning and to them as well, to the departed ones. And I love so much, and I always say more or less the same thing. Chapter 28 of the Gospel according to Spiritism. There's a lot of pattern, a lot of prayers that teach us if you don't know how to pray. But not only that, The preface of each prayer or each topic is a study that we should read and study. And I brought it to you because this question is entirely inside this 59 preface, 28 of the Gospel chapter, says, prayers for those who have just left the earth are not for the exclusive purpose of showing our sympathy. It's more than that. They also have the effect of helping to release them from their earthly ties, and in this manner, shorten the period of perturbation, which frequently follows the separation, so allowing a more peaceful awakening on the other side. Nevertheless, in this case, all as we all other as in all other circumstances, the efficacy depends on the sincerity of the thought and not on the quantity of the words, offered with more or less solemnly, in which very frequently the heart does not participate. So our prayers, as you, I think was Hobby mentioned Thought and Life, the book Thought and Life, there's a lot of information there, really almost a scientific way to think about, but our thoughts are so powerful. If you do what Rodrigo says in the book Violet in the Window, you every day when you have someone that died and you love so much that you think you never meet this person again, this spirit again, but you can send every day in your prayers. If you drop a tear, this tear in a thought, in a flower thoughts, you can send a beautiful sunshine flowers, a girasol, to the person that is in spiritual world. Send your prayer, send your light, send your flower as a action of gratitude for his or her presence in our life for so long or even for a short period of time. But this is the way that you are helping the person there and you are helping yourself. We need, of course, we need our time. Every pain is not the same. People can suffer more or less. People can stay more time, morning or less time. But one thing for sure, one day we all will meet again in a spiritual family that we are growing up, preparing our families in this incarnation with our beloved ones here. For later on, we are growing up in a spiritual side because perhaps I have many husbands, I have many wives in the past, you as well. We have many children, perhaps 100 children, but all of them, we are creating bonds, links in the spiritual world forever, forever. So now, this book brings me, not only for me, but for everyone that's open. And if you are in this situation now that someone passed away, you can open the Gospel, chapter 28, and read this passage from the 59 forward. Prayers that truly come from the heart encounter a resonance in the spirit to whom they are directed, whose ideas are still in a state of confusion, as if they were friendly voices come to awaken them from the sleep. In our spiritist meetings, mediumship meetings, sometimes we we help spirits that just passed away, or they are lost themselves, they are not to know what they are. So this is the time of perturbation or confusion that we can say, as they are going through a tunnel from one side to another side. You have to go further, you have to go further, look for the light that is in the end of the tunnel. This light is our prayers, is the benefactors that are waiting there, helping everyone to awaken their own time. If they have to go here or there, the benefactor respect their time, but are beside them. We have our inverted commas guardian angels, spiritual guardian spirits that are with us before we born and after we discarnate. These workers in spiritual side, Their tasks is to protect us, to be with us, to help us, to guide us, to inspire us. So they are doing their tasks because they need to evolve as well according to their tasks that they are developing in their turn, their way. We are developing us here, evolving, they are evolving as well. So we are their proteges and they are our guardians, and we can work together. And when we wake up in this other side, they are beside us and give us the strength, the opportunity, even giving our violets, flowers that our beloved ones are sending to us when we are in the spiritual world. So this the book that you mentioned is is very nice indeed. So I will say a small part of the prayer here that is in the chapter 28. Now is the number 60. The prayer is, Almighty God, may your mercy be shown to the soul of, name of the person, whom you just called back from earth. We beg and implore that the trials suffered here may be counted in their favor, and that our prayers may soften and shorten the penalties still to be suffered in spiritual form. Remember, André Luiz was in a place, according to his own mind or thoughts or conscience, that we call umbral, or you can call purgatory. Is a phase that stay there until recover the conscience, ask for help, and Eve asking for prayer. So prayers from earth help André Luiz to be free from this place, and the benefactors took André Luiz, and he entered in the colony to be helped there, no, the hospitals. Good spirits who came to fetch the soul, and most especially their guardian angel, help them to free themselves from matter. Because as soon as we discarnate, we have still more or less, we don't know if you are a spirit or in the body, and we can want to talk with the people, and people cannot listen us. We are in this phase of perturbation. Our prayers, our way to deal with this situation, help them to more or less awake the other side. Give them light in the consciousness of themselves so that they may quickly leave the state of perturbation inherent in the passing from the body back to the spiritual life. Inspire repentance in their spirit for all errors and faults committed, and a desire to obtain permission to remedy them, to quicken their advancement in the direction of the life of those who are eternally blessed. So there are so many pages teaching us how to pray, different prayers, different sensations for different people. Each one will say, no, this prayer is better for me, this prayer, prayer is better for me. Doesn't matter. Pray from your heart, on your own words. This is only a guide for people that says, Elsa, I don't know how to pray. Pray for me. No, you can pray. The Gospel 28, blah, blah, blah. So I give you the guidelines for the person. Start in prayer. So the your beloved ones will listen you. Of course, we will listen and feel my prayers that I can pray for your beloved ones. But if you pray with your heart, your love, your flowers sending to them, they will receive a bouquet of flowers of love from your heart. So this is the way that our life is. So even in moment of beloved ones departing, we are not suffering. We feel the absence of their presence, but you're not suffering, because our suffering, if you cry too much, we can perturb them even more. Oh, where are you going? God is injustice. Why you did this for me? No, God knows what's the best thing for the person, be free from the bodily, like that's so heavy, density, and free. They have freedom now. And we, in our turn, we have to understand this, learning, and the spiritism is a blessing in our life because it explains everything, even when suicidal people, when someone commits suicide, they are not going to the hell, never. They have the opportunity, and we pray for them, they will be to the light, and receive our blessing as well. Our blessing as well.
Yeah, my dear. Thank you. Thank you. A prayer always works in a two-way street. Help those who will receive the prayer and help yourself as well. Always. Let me see here. Maria Eugenia made a comment, never too late to ask for forgiveness and give each other the opportunity of healing whatever happened in the past. You're right, my dear. Saying I love you and forgive me or forgive you, it's a blessing thing. Also, we do have here a question from our friend Fernando Melo. How give consolation for kids in this situation? Who wants to answer the question? Okay, my friend.
I can do that because he's a
Go,
good friend
Rodrigo.
of mine, Fernando. Thank you for the question. Fernando is with us every Monday in our virtual study. So, Fernando, I think kids sometimes they absorb the situation better than we do as adults. I think the best way to provide consolation for the kids is to consolate ourselves first. So, and to give the example for them how to face the situation. So, explaining them and passing to them, how can I say, this confidence of what we really think, how we really see the situation, and explaining them that life goes on. So our example to them is the best way to consolate and to help them understand the situation. There's no other way. We are there. They follow us in every single step. So we need to show them with our actions, with our thoughts, uh, that we know what's going on and we are facing this the best way possible. So I think that's the way. I don't know if others have different opinion about that.
I like to say something here because I have my own experience of having lost my father when I was 5 years old, and one thing that I think it should happen is that the children should be allowed to go to the funeral. They should be, as you say, Rodrigo, things need to be explained that the person is gone in a nice, calm way, but the children should participate of going to the funeral and seeing, because sometimes people, the parent who is left or the family think that wouldn't be good for the child to go to the funeral, and in the end you always have this impression that that person abandoned you, they disappear and you never see them again. Of course, as you grow old and everything, you understand that they died and everything, but inside of the person is that feeling that that person's gone, they abandon you. And I think if the child was able to go to the funeral and see the whole process, they would be able to understand, I think, much more clearly what was happening. Because I think sometimes in trying to overprotect our children, we hurt them more without wanting to, because I think a child, as you said, Rodrigo, a child is very conscious. They pick up things very, very quickly, and it would be a shock, would be a part of suffering, but it would be part of the process in which they could let go. Because you grow old and you think every now and then something happens and you think, oh, he's gone, he abandoned me, he didn't say goodbye. And I think this is something that is, though as hard as it is, I think the children should be allowed to go to the funeral, to say goodbye to the person, and to be able to be part of the process, because it also brings closure to them once. And with everyone, once the pain goes, as time goes, you remember, but that hard, the raw pain sort of gets easier and easier and easier. But I think being part of it, being allowed to go and say goodbye and see the whole process, brings closure to the person, to the child. So you don't have to grow up always imagine that that person you loved so much was gone, and suddenly from one day to another it disappeared and you never see again. That's how I feel, and I wish I had gone to my father's funeral, even though I was only 5.
Is, I wrote a book in 2006 or before that called My First Teddy Bear. I wrote it directly in English. And this book was, a lot of people read this book, and one German person, man, read the book and wrote to me and asked to translate it to German language. And he said, Elsa, if I have this book when I was 5 years old and lost my father, I didn't suffer so much as I suffer. And so he decided to translate to help other families. So the book is really for children that lost. The story of the book is the little girl that lost his father, lost inverted comma, né? His father passed away when she was a little one. And she developed the story in talking about that. And it's a consoling book for children. This book, My First Teddy Bear, consoling a young girl, a Muslim girl in Switzerland, in Stockholm, 6 years ago. And my sister gave this book for a mother that said my sister was a doctor for legs. And she gave a book for the mother that was saying that the father, her husband, passed away, and the little girl wasn't sleeping for many nights and crying, crying, crying. So my sister gave this book, a sample of this book for the lady. And the next month, the lady came and said that this book was a blessing for the little girl because she is now still sleeping with the book here in her chest after reading the book every night. The mother read the book for her. So I know that we have ways to consoling children, and the children are so smart. They know everything. If you look into their eyes, talk to them with sincerity, not make fantasy or magical things, but the things that we have in our spiritistic teachings, so the children understand, and even better later on, when grow up as an adult, we will understand it even better. So this is the way that Silvia pointed very well, Rodrigo said as well, that should be. Thank you.
Yes, and a lot of people here, it's agreeing with you. Fernando says, our example is the best consolation. Perfect, thank you. Maria Eugenia said, exactly, Rodrigo, being honest to us and to them. No makeup, true feeling should be what we demonstrate to them. Also, she gives a comment on what Silvia said. I vouch for what Silvia just shared with us. I was 13 when my dad passed away, and being part of the whole process helped me enormously on coping with my grief. Centro Espírita Ponto Luz says the Hebrew word Sheol and the Greek word Hades were translated in the Bible by the Latin word infernum or inferus, whose meaning is below, a lower or subterranean place, but not the meaning that it has had traditionally as a place of eternal torments. What can you tell us about it? Let me start. I can say here, there is no hell, nothing like this, my friend. We are the ones who create our own hells. So hell, it's our conscious point the fingers to us for the lost time of not loving the others. So this is the hell. So there is no inferior place. There is no burning place. What it is our conscious talking to us. And if we being honest with ourselves, being honest with our feelings, be honest with our friends, be honest with our family, being an example. It's the best thing we can do for ourselves and for everybody who is surrounding us. This is my 2 cents.
And I think the question here also comes to us because there are many people who is afraid of dying also because of this, let's say, old understanding or misunderstanding about having a hell where for eternal sufferings. And sometimes people also is fearful about their beloved ones who passed away, that because nobody knows about that. So as you said, Stevan, so there's no hell. That's the point, that what spiritism brought us, saying that there's no hell. There might be places where people are passing through a situation of let's say a transitory situation of adapting for continuing their life, but there's no end, there's no eternal suffering. There is sometimes partial sufferings that are part of the adaptation to the for continuing the life, but we are all born to progress, and we are born for happiness. Maybe we are not ready yet, but we are all born for happiness. We are all born for peace, for good things. The point is that this life and the sequential lives we have incarnated are how can I say, steps we need to take to achieve this the capacity to absorb this happiness or to understand this happiness, and to be disattached to the things we have until, because we are not perfect yet and we are attached to things which are not important, material things or whatever. So this is the process. No eternal suffering, nothing. And if we are fearful about anything, let's pray, because praying is the way that we can help and we can comfort those who passed away and who are there somehow. And I would like just to say something that Apostle Paul told us, the three virtues that everyone should have, which is faith. Faith of what? Faith is trust. Trust of what? Trust on God. Trust that everything which happens is how can I say because it's approved or allowed by God, because it's how can I say, has a useful purpose. So if that's the case, even those who passed away, they did it for a meaning, and we need to trust God. Second, hope. So hope for what? Hope because if we trust, we know that we'll be facing the situation of hugging again our beloved ones sometime, and this is not an eternal situation, like the eternal suffering of hell. So, and then it comes the third one, which is important, which is charity. So let's use our life in a useful way and provide and use the charity to make our life useful for making those who passed away proud of us, proud of what we are making to our life, proud that they are feeling happy that they went away, but they left someone here helping others who are suffering. Not only the incarnated ones, but also the disincarnated ones, because as Elsa said, as Silvia said, as Stevan said, so praying is the best way to help those who passed away, who might be in a certain circumstance in the perturbation period, as Elsa said, suffering somehow, because this is an adapting period to the spiritual world. So praying is the way we should use to help those, and that's a charity. Okay, and another thing, if you feel you miss someone very much, so before you sleep, pray and pray to God and ask the opportunity to be a moment with that person. So I'm pretty sure that during our sleep, when our spirit, let's say, are free from our body somehow, and we perceive the spiritual world, I'm pretty sure, and we have uncountable situations or circumstances where during the sleep, when we are dreaming, we face or we can be with our beloved ones who passed away, and this can comfort us and it can comfort them as well. Okay. And another thing is, if I have time, I don't know if I have, but just one very brief exercise. I know everybody here might be missing someone who passed away. And we did that exercise. I did that with Elsa someday with her father who passed away and in his birthday day. So I'll ask everyone for 30 seconds to close the eyes and let's pray to God. Think about someone who you miss so much who passed away, and think about something which connects you to that person. It can be an object, can be a circumstance, it can be a situation in life, or an experience you live together. Close your eyes and mentalize that, and let's ask God in this point to help us and to help every one of us to send this gift to that person who we love so much, who we miss so much, but in this moment we are sending a gift to them, and they are receiving that, and this will make them happy for today. So do that. I think you all will feel much better now, and I think God will help you to take this gift to your beloved ones who will be very happy this night.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you very much. Also, we have friends in Uruguay. Ruben, hello. Very nice to hear them about the Spirit's teaching, so clarifying our personal and social reality. Greetings from Uruguay. Great, thank you. Also, I am putting here on the comments box the link for the book, My First Teddy Bear, that Elsa mentioned. Okay, so our time is up, but we can still have time for some announcements here. So, as you can see, we will have on the 21st of November, the Spiritism Acts 2021. If you want to be part of this event, register on the Spiritism Acts 2021.eventbrite.co.uk. The topic of this year is understanding our multidimensional journey. Also, on the 11th of December, we will have all friends who gave a talk about Leon Denis. Everybody gonna be together and celebrating a year of Leon Denis. So it's 11th of December, 4 p.m. London time. Our next show on Wednesday is Divine Justice and Our Destiny. Okay, it's on 17th of November, 9 p.m. and we will talk about divine justice and our destiny. And also invite you, if you have any topic you want to allow us, or you want to having us to talk, please send it in the comment box. So your suggestions, it will help us to prepare for upcoming episodes. Okay. So also on the 1st and 21st of November, we will have the second virtual International Spiritism Medical Congress. Okay, if you want to know more about it, go to www.sma/international.org. Our friends, Rafael Caldas and Guilherme Dias, they have their show, Time to Talk, every other Wednesday, 8 p.m. And they are talking about mediumship, conversations on mediumship. Our friends from Cardiac Group, they help two entities in Brazil. Group Sheila and Multirão. If you want to donate, please access www.kardec.org.uk/high five. Also, they produce a podcast, Insightfully Speaking, and you can find the conversations in all podcast apps. Last but not the least, be prepared. In April 2022, we will have the first World Spiritist Month. So a month with friends from all over the world talking about Spiritism and their views. So it's going to be a wonderful journey and moment with friends, Spiritist friends all over the world. So I want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Rodrigo, thumbs up, my friend. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Miss Gibbons, Miss Elsa, thank you for the cup of tea.
Thank you. Cheerio.
Okay.
Tomorrow is
Thank
Armistice
you. I'll
Day,
see you
yeah?
all next Wednesday. Take care.
Yes, and don't forget a prayer tomorrow because it's Armistice Day, the 11th of November. So, for the soldiers who died in the wars.
Yeah, the
So
Veterans
celebrate
Day.
the Armistice
Yes.
Day, yeah.
The Veterans Day, yeah. Okay. So, thank you. Have a nice
Good
evening.
night. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Hasta
God
luego.
bless
Ciao,
everyone.
ciao.
Cheerio. Bye.